Hi friends, so as you know, team YourPedia is in the campus of BITS Pilani. We came yesterday here for academic profiling, and I'm here today with the registrar of BITS Pilani, Colonel Soumyabrati Chakrabarti, and this is the office of Colonel Chakrabarti. So welcome sir on YourPedia.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be with you here today morning.
Yeah. So, Colonel Chakrabarti, this building looks like majestic, and BITS Pilani is very old. Yesterday we saw very old buildings, and they are looking like heritage buildings, sir. And my viewers, please tell my viewers about this building where we are standing as of now. And I have couple of interaction points with you. I'm going to discuss couple of things with you. So I'm very sure that it will be very fruitful to my viewers. So what is this building all about, sir?
Yeah, so what we are presently standing here is called the Faculty Division 2.
Okay.
So as the name suggests, this is the second one. There is one Faculty Division 1,
Okay.
which has already been modernized as per the launch of the project Parivartan. So it has been upgraded. So the next in line is this building. This is, as you said, looks like a heritage building because this was constructed way back in the 60s when the institute came into being. In 64 we became a university,
Right.
and that is the time this building was already in existence.
Okay.
So what we will do is we will rather take a walk so that I can run you down through the other buildings.
That is wonderful, sir.
And we'll go up to the clock tower.
That is wonderful, sir. So, Colonel Chakrabarti, I have couple of interaction points, and I was seeing your profile. I saw you are graduate of BITS Pilani itself, and then you joined Tata Steel, and then you joined Indian Army, and now you are again back to the academic institute. So you have very diversified and impressive profile. I want to know more about your profile very briefly for my viewers.
So I was here in the same place when I was a student.
Okay.
So that was way back in 84.
Okay.
So I was a good student because I got a state rank and then ended up here, did my civil engineering.
Okay.
And then as a placement, I did one of the best jobs to offer that time, Tata Steel. I went there as a graduate trainee.
Yes.
Did 5 years and then joined the army.
Okay.
So army stint was quite fruitful because I ended up at various places.
Right.
The last one being IIT Palakkad, where I was the founding registrar.
Okay, so you worked in IIT Palakkad.
So I was the founding registrar. I worked there for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then I came here in 22.
Okay.
So that is a long journey in short.
Yeah, wonderful. So Colonel Chakrabarti, as far as registrar office is concerned, there are so many offices, there are so many designatory in any academic institute. But registrar is one of the statutory position. We know directors, we have vice chancellor, registrars, and the entire responsibility of the administration is on your shoulders. So I want to ask you, sir, like BITS Pilani is one of the very reputed institute. Please introduce my viewers about the academic and administrative structure of BITS Pilani, since you are associated with this institute as a student, now as official, one of the highest official position also. So please tell us about that academic and administrative structure.
See, to begin with, we are a multi-campus institute.
Yes.
Which is very unique. You will not find another institute like this, where we are operating campuses, one here in Pilani, then in Goa, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and one offshore campus in Dubai. And we are now diversifying to the AI campus in Amravati.
Okay.
So other institutions do not have a structure like this.
Right.
And we have a very strong and dedicated team, which is there in all these campuses. Each campus is more or less independent with their own directors and a set of academic administrators, which include my deputies there in the form of a joint registrar or deputy registrar. So they function from the directives that are given from the head office here in Pilani.
Right.
So we have a dedicated team in all these campuses, and then we have to move around and guide them because the central administration is still with us here.
Okay. So Colonel Chakrabarti, as you said, it's a very diversified domains, and you are trying to expand also. Just now I came to know that AI campus in Amravati also is being planned. So how these decisions are taken, at what pace these decisions are taken? Because I see there are so many universities, young universities, which have multiple campuses. They are breeding campuses after campuses. But BITS Pilani, one of the oldest institute, most reputed institute in India and in the global academic arena. So you have not expanded a lot in all these years. I can see only couple of campuses now coming up for the bids. So how these decisions are taken?
So there are two things. One is that we want our domain to increase. So that means our area of influence should be pan-India, in fact global. So that is what we are focusing on. Our first campus came up from 64 to 2000. And incidentally, that was the first offshore campus by any Indian institution abroad. And then the second one came up after 4 years. Third one came up after 4 years. So we have a deliberate and detailed planning before venturing out to expanding ourselves. So in 2020 we started the Mumbai campus, and somewhere in 26 we have set foot for Amravati. So these are all decisions which are taken with lot of forethought, and they are done at the highest level. And what we are trying to do now is to reach a larger audience through our 2+2 program. That is a very unique venture where we are trying to draw out the international flair, the global education, and we have started this with Australia, RMIT, that is Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, and then we have also done it with 3 US universities, that is Sunny Buffalo, Iowa State, and then Rensselaer Polytechnic, and then one in Super Lake, that is in France. So we are trying to reach out to a wider section of the global audience, and we are already an institution of eminence, so we get that power from there.
Okay, wonderful. Colonel Chakravarti, next my point is something which is very, very relevant point. When we go back to 2020, when BITS became Institute of Eminence, if I'm not wrong, Government of India provided that status to BITS Pilani. That was the year Government of India also came out with the third national education policy after 1968 and 86, 2020, and incidentally for this government, the first national education policy 2020. Now we are recording this session in 2026. We talk a lot about national education policy. I got opportunity to attend one of the Vice Chancellor's conclave on national education policy. There, UGC chairman talked about huge responsibility of old premium institutes like BITS Pilani to take this national education policy forward and become the role model and example for other institutes. So I believe you are the right person, Colonel Chakrabarti. I can ask about National Education Policy 2020, where we stand today as far as BITS Pilani is concerned.
Yeah, so this is our auditorium.
Wonderful.
And this also was there since a long time when I was there here as
a student.
Yes. And similarly, when we talk about NEP, something which is there in the NEP was always there in the BITS ethos. So if you start from the fact that we have flexible curriculum. So in my time also we could select the electives. And now also we give the same kind of a choice to the students. So that is number one. Then your multiple entry, multiple exit. That also we have implemented. We have implemented what is called skilling, because that was there right from day one, where we send our students for internships, what we call as practice school.
Practice school concept,
The practice school 2 is actually a detailed 6-month internship. So we are doing that skilling through these two ventures. We are going global, as I told you, through our 2+2 program, where we are drawing in students to give them a global flair. And to the last part, where we have got this academic bank of credits, which is very significant, and the government wants that the students should be able to do courses, put that in the bank, and then take the credit through a degree. So we are supporting that now. In fact, all our students have already registered to the ABC. We have now started uploading all our degrees onto the National Academic Depository. So our grade sheets, our degrees can now be there in the click of a button for every student to see. So we have already done that from 2017 onwards, and this is an ongoing process. So these are things through which we are supporting NEP in a big way. We are a role model, as I said. Before NEP was introduced, we had already these things in place. Now we are strengthening that and also seeing how the students can benefit out of this.
Colonel Chakravarti, when we talk about premium institutes like BITS Pilani, or for that matter other premium institutes in India like IITs and all, we keep on hearing a lot of news regarding a lot of stress because of the very, very rigorous academic requirements in these colleges from the students, and students under the stress sometime making wrong decisions, like we come across the news like suicide and all. Now all this has made parents very, very conscious and concerned about their kids, you know, studying in these premium institutes. So as a registrar of BITS Pilani, I would like to ask you one question, sir. How the balance is to be made between the rigorous requirements? You have been your student also of BITS Pilani long back in 80s. So balance between rigorous requirement, academic requirements, and the flexibility which these new education policies and all are providing. So how that balance is to be made? Because institute like BITS Pilani, I am very sure this is one of the main concern point of discussion.
See, there are two things here. The first thing is that we are a totally residential institution.
Right.
So whichever student is here,
Right.
99% of the students are staying in the hostels.
Right.
Now we provide a wholesome education.
Okay.
Education is not only the classroom education.
Right, sir.
Here we are also stressing on the other activities.
Right, sir.
So sports, cultural events, the events like hackathons and satellite making or entrepreneurship, everything gets a chance for the students through joining various clubs and societies.
Okay.
So they are not only confined to the classrooms.
Right.
They are supposed to be freely moving around the campus, absorbing the campus cultural ethos and taking part in a range of activities.
Okay.
So that it is nothing to do only with academics.
Right.
And mind you, in our case, what grades we give are relative grading. That means if the class performance is supposed to be taken as average, there is no highest or lowest marks which you have to achieve to get a A grade. So the class performance is actually put into a graph and then the relative grading is given, that is a C, and then based on that the other grades are evolved.
Okay.
So it is no pressure. So whatever questions are given, the relative
Yes.
grading is a sure shot way to check whether the students have absorbed what is there in the classroom.
True.
And as far as the parents are concerned, we always try to keep them updated.
Okay.
So if the student results, the parents can see because they have got access to that portal.
Right.
The parents also get to involve themselves interacting with the students.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that we are trying to put in place so that there is no academic pressure. Because we also have a continuous evaluation scheme. So it is not that you have to wait till the comprehensive exam to judge how well you are faring. We have a series of quizzes, we have a mid-sem, we have an end-sem, and then we also give the chance to the students to repeat a course. That means if you have got a lower grading, you can always go and do that course again to repeat. And then there is a flexibility, you can choose courses, you can choose whether you want to do a thesis or a practice school, so you can choose whether you want to do a minor. So there is no academic pressure
on that.
unless the students puts it on themselves that okay, I want to be under pressure. So that is mostly also done through some parental pressure, which we are trying to now get sessions done so that there is no such pressure from the parent that you must do a particular CGPA or a particular course or a particular program, that you must leave the choice to the students.
Wonderful. When it comes to unique academic structure existing in BITS Pilani, Colonel Chakrabarti, you have already mentioned briefly about that, but for easy understanding of my viewers, I would like to ask that again from you. When we talk about a unique academic structure existing in Pilani, we talk about dual degree programs, we talk about practice school concept, which is very, very famous. I want you to elaborate on that a little bit and tell us what is this system.
See, first thing is when we talk about NEP, that time also we wanted about interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary stress. That focus was there already in BITS throughout.
Right.
And that is the crux of dual degree.
Okay.
Means you are doing 2 degrees at the same time.
Right.
And you are taking the benefit of both. So you can join as a MSc Bioscience and then after your performance in the first year, take up an engineering degree. Similarly, you can take up economics, you can take up physics, chemistry and do an engineering degree. Sometimes it is also the reverse. The engineering chap may also decide to take a dual degree and take up maths. So these are the flexibilities that we are offering. A dual degree student comes out in 5 years with 2 different degrees. And we have started the 2+2 program, as I mentioned. That means 2 years in BITS and 2 years in the foreign university. We also have a free flow of a higher degree. That means if you decide to pursue an ME or you want to go for PhD, you can always transition to that. then we are having this kind of course selection, that is another flexibility. So in terms of this academic curriculum, we have a lot of flexibility. Coming on to internship, where you said about practice school, we have two type of practice schools. That is one which you do after the second year during the summer vacation, and the other one is the one semester. So the students decide whether to go in the first semester of the fourth year or in the second semester. The same goes for the 5-year degree students who are doing a dual degree. So they have this one semester earmarked for internship, which also sometimes translates into job offers. The PPOs that they receive is the highest in India. The internship that they get averages more than 40,000 and goes as high as 2 lakh to 3 lakh.
Okay, wonderful.
So that is an incentive to showcase that, okay, BITS has got the talent which the industry needs.
Yes.
So we are skilling them, they are industry ready, and that is why they are getting such good offers from the industry, and they go and prove themselves, and then they get the jobs.
Okay.
More than 130, 140 crores are earned by the students as a cumulative thing during their practice school.
Okay.
So it is a very good venture, and the students have all these unique features only in BITS.
Okay.
When they join a particular program, they pass out with 2 degrees, they do the internship, they are industry ready, get the best job offers. And here, as I said, while staying in the campus, they participate in a host of activities which range from cultural, physical, sports, then your academic oriented clubs. So there are...
That is also component of wholesome education, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Wonderful. So Colonel Chakravarti, now coming back again to your profile and the kind of profile you led in the past, serving in reputed private sector and government sector, again in your alma mater, again you're back in that, Colonel Chakravarti. I'm very sure you are a kind of person who has his own targets and vision for next couple of years, along with the institutional vision. So I would like to ask you, like, have you kept any kind of vision for you next couple of years, after 2 to 3 years when I visit you? I mean, you have achieved, this is what you planned.
2-3 things which we are trying out. One is we want to become a tuition blind institution. That means the student, once he is having the merit, should not think about the tuition fees. We are now only sustained by the fees that the student gives, because we have to pay for all the research. So that takes a lot of money, and the tuition fees goes to give out the salaries to the brilliant faculty that we are recruiting. So for that, we are trying to get through sponsorship, through CSR, through donors. So that is the number one aim. Number two, as you said, we are diversifying, growing. So our Amravati campus, we want to make it a state of the art, and a statement there that this is what is the finest institution in the country. And the third, which is the most important, is to focus on research. Because our institution has made a very big name in the teaching part. Research, we are now putting lot of effort, because of late we have inducted more than 2,300 students who are pursuing PhD, which is a very quantum jump. And we have also opened avenues through various modes. Now you can do a PhD here and take out a patent and become an entrepreneur. That is unique, and the only institute which gives such a PhD is through BITS. We have also got this Inspire, Impact, and we have got Drive. So there are a lot of emphasis on research. We have got the funding. We are trying to promote more researchers to join, and this is where will be our focus in the coming years.
Wonderful. Colonel Chakravarti, you are the person with whom I can discuss also about the scholarships being offered to your flagship programs, courses like BITSAT. We know, I was going through the website and I read there about BITSAT 2026 and new scholarship. That is what word was mentioned. Please tell my viewers about new scholarship BITSAT 2026.
There are two things. One is scholarship is not new. This new scholarship is a type of scholarship which is recently introduced. So this BITSAT, what we are doing is that the top rankers,
100 top rankers or something.
In BITS, and more than that, 500 I suppose, will get total free
education. Okay.
Yes. So now what happens is, if you are giving BITSAT and you know your rank, because you get a score at the end of the day, you don't know the rank, but you know the score.
Right.
So with that high score, you feel that okay, you are in the top rank.
Okay.
And then you will ab initio get the scholarship.
Okay.
That means you don't have to say us that which course, which campus, which program. You don't have to take admission. Your scholarship is assured. That means you don't look left or right. Come to BITS, take your scholarship and get admission.
Right.
This scholarship was already there, but then we used to give it only after they join.
Right.
But now we are promising them ab initio. So there are similar scholarships for the girl students. There are similar scholarships for the meritorious, which is not salary based.
Okay.
Now this scholarship is based on parental income.
Right.
But many will still walk into BITS,
Right.
and they will have moderate income. It's not that they will break that income ceiling, because we are talking about a particular slab of students who cannot afford the tuition fees. But there are some people who can afford it, but then find it difficult.
Yes.
So we are giving merit scholarships as well as merit cum min scholarships.
Okay.
And as on date, almost 40% students get some scholarship or the other.
Right. Right.
So there is more than 130 crores which is being given from the institution as scholarship.
Okay.
Which is a huge amount.
That's true. That's true. Colonel Chakrabarti, you mentioned about the relevance of research and the focus on research of BITS. And you also mentioned just now that 500 toppers of BITSAT are getting totally free education. So I'm getting inquisitive to ask you a question related to higher educational courses in BITS campuses. There is another exam which we call high degree exam, HD exam it is called, for pursuing ME in the campus. I know that there are scholarships also offered, but Colonel Chakrabarti, can we also expect that some toppers of HD may also get free education in the campus?
See, there are two, this HD exam, what you're telling, is not the only way that you can get admitted for a higher degree.
Yes.
You can also use your GATE score, you can also use your GPAT score,
right,
and you can use this exam which we are conducting.
Right.
When you walk into this, you already get a stipend.
Okay.
So every student who is getting this higher degree and admitted here is already getting a stipend.
Okay.
So their tuition fee is not the only source of income. They are getting paid.
Okay.
The same payment we are also offering to our PhD students.
Okay.
So they get the fellowship.
Okay.
So that they are usually here for 5 years. So they'll get 2 years plus 3 years. That means the junior research fellowship and the senior research fellowship, which is close to 42,000 and 48,000. So every researcher here gets that money.
Okay.
So for higher degree and PhD students, they are getting fellowship and stipend.
Okay, wonderful. Colonel Chakrabarti, I don't know whether it is appropriate me to ask you this particular question, which is related to other campuses of BITS, but because it is the oldest campus I know, and we have more campuses of BITS, I would like to ask you, like, at what stage of their evolution or growth these campuses are? We hear about Mumbai campus, we hear about Goa and Hyderabad campus, though I'm going to visit these campuses also, and Dubai campus also. So anything you want to comment on that, the evolution and growth of these campuses, at what stage we are, and because BITS plan is very old.
When we planned these campuses, they were meticulously laid out.
Okay.
We have got a huge area.
Right.
So the land is there.
Right.
The campuses are well laid out. There are a lot of greenery.
Right.
Hostels are very new and up to date.
Right.
And their rankings
in
terms of the international ranking, if you say computer science, subject-wise ranking. So these campuses are doing extremely well. Where we tend to gain is because of our lineage, where the Pilani alumni have all graduated from this campus. But of late, Dubai has already celebrated its 25th year of existence. So they have their own campus. That campus is owned by BITS Pilani. So there they are doing exceedingly well. All our campuses are very well laid out, extremely green. Students are very meritorious. And each campus in their own rights are doing very well in and that is evident from the subject-wise rankings. Mumbai, I have to add, has got a very state-of-the-art campus, because that is the recent and the most modern campus, and it is in Kalyan, in a 63-acre, in the heart of the city, with the latest infrastructure, and we are focusing on non-STEM courses there. So what they do there is management, design,
Okay.
which is engineering, and then law.
Okay.
So this is what we are teaching there to the students.
Okay, so Colonel Chakravarti, it was a marathon session and walk the talk session with you. So before I ask you about the relevance of this majestic building, all my interaction points are over. Colonel Chakravarti, any message you want to give to the parents and prospective students of BITS Pilani campus, or anything which I must have missed and you want to add?
First thing is we are standing at the iconic clock tower.
Yeah.
So this is the place which actually gives the source of a lot of energy and enthusiasm.
Yes.
Anybody who gets a chance,
Yes.
as a student, as a faculty, as a parent, as a staff, or just as a well-wisher, should come and stand and absorb the energy and enthusiasm. So what happens is that we have now diversified it to multiple areas. The best historian, the best cinematographer, the best artist, scientist, engineer, entrepreneur, all are Bitsians.
Okay.
From Swiggy to Big Basket to Grow, anything you tell has been done by the Bitsians. So what I will tell the parents, relax, because your son or daughter is in the best place and in the best hands. To the aspiring youth of today, get associated with BITS in whatever way you can.
Yes.
If you are studying, then we have a digital arm which will give you that flair, because you can join online. If you are working, you can join us through WILP, that is Work Integrated Learning Programs. If you are still younger, you come here through a BITSAT. And if you are past your studies, you can join us as a faculty or a staff. But nothing should not leave a chance to get associated with BITS.
Wonderful. So Colonel Chakravarti, very briefly, if you can mention about the significance of this clock tower.
Yeah, as I said, this is also during the time when everything was constructed here. So we have this clock tower. One uniqueness is all the times in the four sides are different.
Okay.
Minute difference will be there.
Okay.
So this is also significant, because then we say that okay, these times will keep changing.
Okay.
There will be ups and downs,
Yes,
but you must survive all the ups and downs. And we are trying to now make it electronic.
Okay.
This is still mechanical.
Okay.
So we'll upgrade it, and you will find a much better display.
Okay.
But the entire ethos and the heritage part will still be preserved.
Okay, so friends, this was my interaction with Colonel Chakravarti, who is himself alumna of this particular institute, very great institute. And thanks a lot, Colonel Chakravarti, for your time and for this wonderful interactive session.
Thank you, Vijayender ji, and it was nice of you and your team to come to us and then give us this opportunity to reach out to a wider segment of the society. And we are always thankful to all the good work that you have been doing.
Thanks a lot, Colonel.